Now we are on and halfway of this discussion. Let's go forward to the different ways of referring. Now, there are three kinds of referring expression. These are proper names, which have unique reference, like our example in the previous discussion, Lake Ontario, or the Barbara Collins. Pronouns such as she, he, they, or, and so forth. Complements and modifiers, if present, provide part of the identity of the referent. They answer the question which, or say for example, which room, which plate, which school, which laptop. Those are determiners have a more complex role in identifying reference. In the discussion of reference, complements and modifiers are a little important, but determiners are all important. Now, let's go to these subcategories for the different ways of referring. First, we have generic and non-generic reference. The examples: a dog. The first sentence is a dog makes a fine pet. Now the second one is dogs make fine pets. In the first sentence, a dog has generic reference. The sentence is not about a particular dog, but about the class of dogs as a whole. Therefore, dog is general. We can express the same meaning with second sentence, which is also a generalization. Now let's go to the second subcategories: specific and non-specific reference. First sentence, we have a dog, and the second sentence, we'd like to have a dog. In the second sentence, a dog refers to a specific dog. Now, the reference is to some particular animal, and we could insert a word certain before dog without changing the meaning. Because in the first sentence, we have a dog. Certain, it doesn't. If you put a word certain in the sentence, it doesn't change the meaning or the thought of the sentence. Now let's go to the last categories for these different ways of referring. We have a definite and indefinite reference. Demonstrative, possessive, and quantitative determiners identify a referent in a fairly precise way. The definite determiners, the, occurs in a referring expression when the speaker assumes that the hearer can identify the referent. For example, I've got the ticket, or when identification is made part of the referring expression, I've got the tickets that you wanted. Indefinite determiners, a and an, some and zero indicate that the referent is part of a larger entity. Now, we are now in the deixis. Now, deixis, the most primitive way of referring to something that is point to it. Of course, this kind of reference can only be accomplished with people and concrete things is one's immediate environment. Less primitive level, every language has deictic words which point to things, and in the physical social context of the speaker and addressee, and who reference can only be determined by knowing the context in which they are used. Now, say for example, I was disappointed that you didn't come this afternoon. I hope you'll join us tomorrow. Now, words which can be deictic are not always so. So today and tomorrow are deictic, and we can't today, but tomorrow will be fine. Now let's proceed to anaphora. So some didactic words can also be used as anaphoric items. Anaphora is a kind of a secondary reference in which a previous reference is recalled by use of special function words or equivalent maxims. Now the difference between deixis and anaphora is very plain. Even though some function words can also be used in both functions, if someone says, for example, she wants to leave now, and nudes in Lucy's directions, and or Lucy is only person present to whom she can refer, she is used didactically. Only on the other hand, in the utterance, Lucy has been here for over an hour and she wants to leave now. The word is used anaphorically, and it is important to see that anaphoric word refers to the referent of the primary referring expression, not to the expression itself. On the other hand, numerous languages have grammatical gender, and so all nouns belongs to the gender class, or another and other parts of noun must be agreed with the noun. In Spanish, for example, we have esta pared blanca, this white ball, and esta camisa blanca, this white t-shirt. Pared and camisa belong to the feminine gender, a class that contains some nouns that denote female or people, and sombrero belongs to the masculine gender. Now, let's go to the examples. I want to ride on the carousel but was unable to do so. And a second example, Diana feels when she has done enough now, and I think so too. Let's go to the last topic for the reference. We have shifts in ways of referring. Example sentence: there was a strange painting on the wall. Here are the referring expression is indefinite but specific. In the next sentence, the referential expression is definite. So we are now in the last topic for the reference. Here we have referential ambiguity. Referential ambiguity occurs when an indefinite referring expression may be specific or not. For example, I wanted to buy a newspaper. Here, a newspaper may refer to a specific newspaper or some newspaper or any kind of newspaper. The ambiguity disappears if we add, on the other hand, but I couldn't find it, or on the other hand, but I could not find one. Because here, the word newspaper is changed into some word, for example, the word one, because it is same that the word one refers to the newspaper. Now, a quick summary for all the discussions I've already discussed in this video. First, a referring expression is, first of all, a noun phrase is linked to someone outside language and its referent. Now, we recognize different kinds of reference and different ways of referring. A noun phrase has a noun head, a determiner, and perhaps a complete and or modifier. The determiner determines the way of referring that a particular referring expression has, though there is no simple correlation between determiner and ways of referring. Now, certain function words and axioms are used to avoid repetition of referring expressions that have occurred previously in the discourse, or less commonly referring expression that will not follow. Now, referential ambiguity occurs when the context does not make a clear whether a referring expression is being used specifically or not. When the interpretation is a referring expression can be collective or distributed, and when it is not clear to which of the two or more referring expression an anaphoric item is linked. Now we're done, and that's all for today's video. I hope we learned something about preference of semantic in English. I'll see you in the next video, and goodbye for all.